Huh?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing a video.
You good?
Yeah. I was throwing a ladder on the hood. What's going on, guys? God bless you. Carlos here with Serrano's Mobile Detail in Dallas, Texas. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. I'm laughing because I really beat the crap out of this hood, as you guys saw. But we are going to be testing out the new Kochchemie H9o2. This is their new and improved heavy compound for polishing. So I'm excited. I've only used the H901, which you guys see it up here. But now I'm able to, I finally bought the H902 once it was available. And I get to have some fun with it today. We're going to see really what I think about it. You know, is this new and improved product really better, or is it the same as the H901? I love Kochchemie. If you've been following this channel, that's strictly all I use, and I'm pretty much like a die-hard fan of this product. But before we start that, let me show you how this hood looks now, and we're gonna start talking about this product. Let me give you guys a glimpse of how this hood looks. Right, we have a lot of in my scenarios, this is the hood I use a lot for my trainings. So I like to beat it up. I like to give the students different scenarios when I work with them. Real world scenarios that you're gonna really see, you know, when you're out there working. So that's one of the beauties. I love what I do about my classes. When I do my classes, they're all one-on-ones, but I will teach you things that you will see daily, right? When you get called for a correction or you get called for a wax, this is scenarios that you see a lot, right? So as you guys saw, this thing is beat up. We got swirls, we have buffer trails, we have a little bit of brush marks, obviously using my drill brush. We have some of these we used, I don't even know what that is, but it's like a plastic board that's kind of, it has a little bit of metal in there. I think they use it for like it goes in the corners of like when you're building something like in the wall or something. And I hit it all over the hood. I also used a wood block and I dented my hood. But this is really, is gonna showcase a lot of things that you could see, right? It's definitely beat up. Will the new Kochchemie H9 product do well for this? We're definitely gonna see. So let's get everything set up and we'll get started. All right, we are all set up. We're gonna be using, again, like I said, the Lake Country wool pad, which is probably my most favorite one I use. We're pairing it with the Max Shine M15 Pro G. And I don't know if you guys, I've showed you my new skin from Buff Bright, but if I haven't, shout out to Buff Bright. I bought this one a while back. Mine was all orange, but then I emailed them and said, hey, look, could you guys put my logo on it? And they definitely nailed it. They even put my Serrano's on YouTube. And these things actually stick pretty good. I thought these were going to be more of like a waste of money. But no, they actually take a beating. They take a beating and they actually stick to your polisher. It definitely gives your polisher a different look, you know, and I'm definitely liking the look on it. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to, usually when it's a clean pad, I tend to always do like this is probably too much, but I'll do like a little star. That's just me, right? And then after that, I'll do 4 drops. But I think I'm gonna switch it over to a voiceover this way. This doesn't get loud for you guys. So let's get this project started. Let's have some fun. All right, so phase one is blending the pad and the product into the paint. As always, I started at a speed 2, that's kind of like my blending stage to blend this product in there nicely. Always work in small sections. This way, you're gonna get the best out of your product, right? So I always work in small sections, and then we bump it up to a speed 6. And remember, guys, when you sell a paint correction slow pace wins the race. Don't try to rush this. This is not a hand wax, or this is not a many call it a paint enhancement. So when you're doing a correction, take your time. The slower you work your product, the better the finish your paint is gonna have. So usually speed 6 is what I do. I work really slow, and then I do about 4 passes each time to really produce some amazing results. So overall, it gives you a nice working, you get a nice working out of the product, right? And I've always said it with Kochchemie, I feel like a little bit goes a long way. We're gonna start removing this and really see how well this cleaned it up. Obviously, when working with a wool pad, guys, you're gonna see a lot of it'll leave you trails, right? That's normal, I would say, right? You can definitely cut or lower your speed on it, and it will definitely improve a lot of this haziness you see. But I've really enjoyed it. All right. Now, my honest feedback, guys, whenever you're working with something that is so beat up, right? As you guys can see, there's still some scratches here, right? In order to really get beneath that, wet sanding would have to come into play. But overall, I would say it cleaned it up pretty good. Now, if you guys want to see, obviously, the finished product, we can go ahead and really finesse this and bring it, give it that nice gloss, right? But this video is really mostly to really see how well it cuts. So we took it from this, we took it from this to this, and it's definitely cleaned up much better, right? These are, obviously too deep, but can be blended in. I can literally come in here and wet sand this down, and the scratch would be less visible to the eye. But for this scenario, we're really trying to see how well this thing cuts. And I think it looks pretty good, right? That's a good 50-50 from here to here. We definitely improved the look. We removed a lot of the major scratches, a lot of these holograms, buffer trails, some of these scratches that were done by that plastic material. And again, some of you guys may say, oh, well, plastic is easy to remove. And that's correct, right? A lot of the times you get calls with customers that are like, oh my God, I scratched my car, I hit a plastic tube. And this is what they're referring to, right? To where you can literally come with your finger and just remove it, right? And this is just for, right? A lot of the times customers think they've scratched their vehicle, but it really is just a rub to where you can come in with your finger and remove it. Obviously, you might need to do some light polishing because from the scuff, but a lot of the times we get those phone calls where customers like, oh my God, I scratched my car. And it's a lot of the time it's just a rub mark, right? But it looks really bad. And to the customers, it looks horrible, right? But H9o2, I think it definitely did really well for this scenario. And just for giggles, we're gonna go ahead and clean it up. We're gonna make this nice and black, so you guys can see a nice finished product on that. All right, and for this next phase, obviously, of just cleaning this paint up a little bit better, I love Kochchemie P301, the one with the little green stripes, right? This is gonna give you a very light cut, which that's exactly what we're gonna do right here. Is we're just trying to clean this up, but it's gonna give me the most gloss on it, right? So this is why I love using P301, because it's gonna give me the maximum gloss. As well, for those who are just starting in the paint correction industry, H9o2 can be used for your ceramic coatings, right? It doesn't have any fillers, it doesn't have any, this one's oil free. So it's gonna help you when you're doing ceramic coatings. You definitely want anything from the Kochchemie line, anything that doesn't have a green line, that can be used as far as compounds and polishes for your ceramic coating packages, right? If you're going to be doing paint correction on them. So let's go ahead and just clean this paint up Again, I'm probably gonna just switch it over to a voiceover, or I'll probably add some music to it. That way this doesn't get too loud for you guys. For this stage, always I like to polish at speed 4 at a lower setting. This way it can blend in nicely into the metals, but it's going to give you a nice finish. This polish, I really enjoy it just because the longer you work it, you can start seeing the gloss come out every time. So I say about 4 solid passes, and that should be it. Alright, my light had went out. The battery went dead, but we've gone ahead and finished this. Now it's time to really see how well this looks. Now again, keep in mind you will see a lot of imperfections. This hood is pretty beat up, right? But on a vehicle where we don't have a lot of imperfections, this hood would look really, really nice. And just look at that clarity on that hood, right? So we took it looking from this pretty beat up, right, to getting it to this. And again, like I said, yes, we could wet sand this scratch here. This one's a goner, but there's a lot of areas here that we could have blended in a little bit better, to where it's less noticeable. For sure, these could have been wet sanded down a little bit more, or we could have wet sanded that, you know, and blended it in, and it would look really, really good. But let me clean this hood up, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts on this product. What I think about it, is it worth the money? And we'll finish with that. Final thoughts on the new Kochchemie H9o2. Definitely, I did see a little bit of more gloss than the previous version. Not a lot, right? Again, this is just my opinion. If you bought it, let me know what you think about it. I love Kochchemie. That's really the only line I tend to carry. Even the people I do my trainings with, they all work with Kochchemie or Kochchemie. I want them to really see the value in these. They're not expensive, but they are on the premium side of cost, right? This one here cost me, I believe, $67 for the liter, but it will definitely last you. I think I've had H9o1 almost 2 years, and I really haven't used it, because the thing is, you're not always going to be using a heavy cut, right? But when there's scenarios when you're working with something pretty rough and you really want to get into the paint, into the clear, heavy cut is going to be your best route, right? Some people will say rotary and H9 is your best friend, which in theory it is. But to the new and inexperienced detailer, I always say a DA will be your best friend, because you don't have to worry about really making too much damage, right? The rotary it's a force, you know, it's direct drive, so it's gonna keep spinning, creating a lot of heat in a matter of seconds, right? So if you're not experienced with rotary, definitely take your time with a DA. I honestly feel that the machines coming out now do so amazing by just using a DA, right? It's always going to fall down to putting a nice product and a nice pad to pair it, and the rest is smooth, right? Definitely the buff off was extremely easy. It's not grabby, and again, like I said, usually I'll do 4 drops on the pad, spread it around, and when I cut, I'm usually bumping it up to a 6 just to try to build some heat on there, and then, you know, blend it in. Some people tend to use it at a lower speed. It really doesn't matter. Whatever you feel is best for your vehicle in that time, right? But again, H9o2, really, really solid product. It definitely did the job. And obviously, we paired it with Kochchemie P301, which is the purple one with the green line, because that one has a wax on it. And I've always loved using or pairing it like that if I'm doing a 2-step, because it's gonna give me like gloss like no tomorrow. That's why I really love using that purple one. But really, the focus of today's video was Kochchemie H9o2. Definitely, I feel like they've definitely improved it. Was it a big drastic change to where, you know, do you have to, if you have the H901 and you want the new and the greatest to the H9o2, honestly, I feel like, don't feel like so rushed to buy this one here, because honestly, I feel like they're doing the same thing. Maybe just a little bit of more gloss. But that's just my opinion. I know there's other professionals out there that strictly use this one, and they can, you know, you can research them and you'll get a nice idea of it. But for my scenario today, working in extreme scenarios, it's gonna do the job. It's gonna cut. It's gonna clean up the paint nicely and prepare for that next step of polish, right? When you're using a heavy cut, it's preferably you need to follow it up with a polish, right? Whether it could be Kochchemie F6, it could be Kochchemie P301 as your final step. But if you're doing a ceramic coating, usually my step would be H901 for step 1, followed by Kochchemie F601, which is the yellow bottle. And that's gonna really clean up the paint and have it ready for when you're gonna start doing your ceramic coating. So I hope today's video was a little bit fun, especially the beginning. I got a little bit too carried away. I dented my hood. But I had fun working with this one. I know some people recently had asked me, hey, what do you think of this new polish? Honestly, Kochchemie is a solid line. Obviously, I was a Meguiar's fan, and then 3D, but it didn't wow me. And then finally, I gave in to start trying the Kochchemie line. And since then, honestly, I will not turn back. I really love that product. No, I am not sponsored by using Kochchemie products. I know some people have asked, like, hey, are you sponsored by them? Because you're always mentioning them. No, I am not sponsored by them. I just love using their product so much because it makes sense in my world. It does the job in my world. Obviously, for this scenario, that we could have done some wet sanding in there, and would have cleaned this paint up a lot. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. As always, God bless you guys, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.